What is going on, guys? I'm SceptileMC here, George, the coach of your San Francisco Arcaniners, here to bring you my Season 6, Week number 8 match against Yo Fizz, or the Atlanta Hawluchas. I think he's 6-1, I want to say, or he's 5-2. One or the other. We are, in fact, 5-2 right now, so we want to come back from this game after our loss last week to Nick, and we want to come out with a big win. So if you want to see the team builder of how I prepped for Fizz, that is in the description below. Also, I do recommend you check out Fizz. His link is also in the description below. And I don't ever mention this, but I'm going to mention this now because I actually just remembered it. There are San Francisco Arcaniners t-shirts. I will leave a link in the description below as well. I don't ever actually put that in the description, but I just kind of remembered today. So that is in the description below if you guys want to rep the Arcaniners. I, of course, have one. Etc, etc. So, yep. So, without further ado, let's get right on into his team. So, he decides to bring the Hawluchas, the Porygon 2, the Mega Scizor, the Zoroark, the Whimsicott, and the Hawlucha. To be completely honest, I expected the first three. I did not expect the last three. I expected Volcanion, the Mence, and Rhyperior instead of these three. But this actually changes the game completely for what he brings. What it means is that Nidoqueen isn't as important really in this game. I can afford to have it get weakened down early. Mamoswine is very important in this game. Infernape can sweep very easily, although I did have the Gunk Shot because of the Florges. I'm kind of wishing I brought Flare Blitz right now, but nothing I can do about that either. For if I brought Flare Blitz and Close Combat, I just won the game with this thing. And if I brought Bandit, actually, I just won the game with Flare Blitz. Jeez. Choice Scarf Electabuzz is very important in this game, and I'm actually looking at his team. He doesn't have a ground type. He didn't bring Rhyperior, and anything on his team, unless the Helios is Choice Scarfed, I'm not expecting him to have no Scarfer on his team. So I'm going to lead off with my Electabuzz just to get off the Volt Switch against him, and he decides to lead off with his Hawlucha, actually. So Hawlucha's going to come out right here, and I was afraid this thing might be Choice Scarf, but it just didn't make sense against my team for him to be Choice Scarf, and he does reveal that by switching out right there. So I get the Volt Switch off right here. He goes into Whimsicott, and it's gonna do actually a decent amount of damage to Whimsicott. That tells me that it's more of an offensive spread, not a defensive spread. So I have to go into my captain right here, the Nidoqueen, and this is pretty obvious that I'm not going to go for Sledge Wave right here, so he's actually going to make a great play and stay in and go for Psychic, which was a fantastic play on his part, because that means that while I do get up my Toxic Spikes right here, Nidoqueen is weakened. Now, that's not terrible, because Nidoqueen wasn't going to do too much anyway in this game, and really from this range of HP, I can't actually outspeed anything and kill anything. Well, I could kill everything, but I can't outspeed anything, so there's no point in me really keeping it around. But I'm decided to save it as a death fodder because the Hawlucha is kind of scary against my team, and he's just going to click Psychic again, so he's going to take a solid amount of damage from that. And I'm looking at it, and quick want to do a little spoiler. I had Return on this thing, but I forgot to get up the Max Happiness, and that's just a mistake on my part. I just completely forgot about it. I got this team the night before I played, and I got the team, I checked everything was good, and I just saved it, and I closed my DS until the morning. And I don't have Return for this game, so I have the Fire Punch, the Ice Punch, and the Earthquake to use against this Mons. Not terrible coverage against him, but I would love to have Return at some points in this match, but mistakes on my part. I'm not going to have that happen again because it happened to me. So you learn from your mistakes, etc, etc. But he goes into Hawlucha now after I kill the Whimsicott, and I know he's going to fire off a high jump kick or something like that, so I'm not going to stay in. I'm going to sack off my Nidoqueen right here, and this is a bulky Nidoqueen, and the fact that that killed tells me that he's in fact banded. So has a choice banded Hawlucha. And I'm going to go into my Electabuzz, and I'm just going to Volt Switch out. And that's perfectly fine with me. He actually, if he has enough HP investment, it's like 12, I think? Not even. I do like 90% to 110% on the Hawlucha. So he does have a chance to actually survive my hit, which is going to come into play later on that calc. So right here, I go into Pookie, which is my Mamoswine on the Volt Switch. So because he doesn't have a ground type, I'm freely able to Volt Switch around his team whenever the Hawlucha comes out, and just get off Volt Switch and go into something that can take on whatever he goes into. But he decides to go into Scizor on my Mamoswine as I click Earthquake. Now, this Mamoswine is designed to kill Scissor, so I am perfectly fine with this. This is his only switch into me. And I'm going to click the Earthquake again. And he's going to fire off Bullet Punches as I expected. He could have alternatively gone for Defog right there, which might have been a better play. But he didn't expect me to have the Berry Berry, so that's going to work in my favor. And he's actually going to get a critical hit. Now, this crit's going to come into play later on. It's kind of unfortunate, but it's not game-changing. It's just unfortunate that it happened, and it cost me my Mamoswine later on. But I'm going to fire off an Ice Shard right now, knowing I can outspeed the Omega and just get off my Ice Shard. Instead of his Bullet Punch, take out the Scizor, and Mamo takes down Scizor with an Ice Shard. I don't think we ever thought we'd see that day, but he goes into his Heliolisk right here. But I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? The Snorlax is my safest switch, and there's a chance that he's just going to be the Zoroark and go for Sucker Punch, and that's actually exactly what happens. He just goes for the Sucker Punch. I was debating going for Ice Shard because I was too weak right there, but I was like, you know what? If it's a Zoroark and he does go for Sucker Punch, then I just wasted my Mamoswine for absolutely no reason. So I go into my Snorlax, and right here, I would have loved to click Return. That's a situation where I would have loved to click Return. I almost clicked Earthquake, but then I'm like, you know what? He might go into Hawluchas, so I'm just going to click Ice Punch instead. And yeah, that's what happens. So gets my Thick Fat, and then Ice Punch does absolutely nothing. So Return would have been great right there. It would have done a lot of damage to that Pokemon. It would have actually probably 2-hit KO'd this thing from the range it was at. So he's going to click Recover right here, trying to save up his P2. And I'm just going to switch into Mamoswine. I know I can switch into it. If he has the Tri-Attack, it's a roll to kill me, I think. If he has Special Attack Investment, it's a roll. If he has no Special Attack Investment, I don't think it could kill me. I go for EQ, and judging by the damage, that is a physically defensive P2, because I am Adamant Max Attack. Goes for Side Shock, revealing he does not have the Tri-Attack, and does 39 damage. Now, this is where me getting crit kind of matters. I decided to go for Stealth Rocks right here, because I could actually survive a Side Shock again, depending on the roll. Turns out, he kills me this time, and if he didn't get the crit, I could have gone up my Rocks. Then gone for Earthquake the next turn and taken him out, but that's not what happens. I went for Rock so that I could guarantee the Oko with Volt Switch on the Hawlucha the next time it comes in. But I should have gone for Earthquake anyway, because then I could have kept my Mamoswine around and then had the Ice Shard for the remainder of his fast farm. I wanted to Flame Charge right there, but if he was physically defensive, there was a chance I wouldn't actually KO him. And then I just have the problem with, well, shit, I just completely destroyed my Infernape for no reason. He goes into Hawlucha right here, and I'm just thinking maybe he's gonna overpredict and U-turn out, misclick. I don't know. He just goes for a Jump Kick and takes out my Tarzan, which is perfectly fine. The fact that I have my Rocks now means that his Pokemon are taking even more damage every time they come in to take a Volt Switch. So, and this thing's going to 100% die to a Volt Switch now. So, just gonna Volt Switch out as he goes into this Pokemon. Judging by the damage it has on it, it is the Zoroark, so that Zoroark is going to get smacked by a Volt Switch. Sent down to about 25%, 20%, and he has only one turn of Life Orb left. Unfortunately, if I clicked T-Bolt there, that would have been the better play. I would have actually probably picked up the KO on the Zoroark, but I did not do that. I have to go into Manaphy right here, and I'm just going to click Scald. I am a mixed bulky Manaphy, so I have a lot of special defense and a lot of like physical defense, so I can definitely take a knockoff, and I do very nicely. I click Scald, and it's just going to take out that thing. So Manaphy, in his first appearance, gets a kill. That's always nice. Next up, though, he does go into the Heliolisk, his actual Heliolisk. He's going to take the Poison and the 12% from the Stealth Rock. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay in and click Psychic. If he wants to go, I just want some damage off on this thing. We're going to see what kind of set he is. He turns out to not be a Life Orb set. He might be Choice Specs, and I click Psychic. So he gets off the Focus Blast on me. I end up surviving the Focus Blast. I did expect him to expect the Snorlax to come out. Also, if he's a choice item, he would not go for an Electric-type move because of my Electabuzz, and that's the only way he would be able to kill my Electabuzz. But he's actually going to get worn down enough here to the point where a Focus Blast is going to take me out. However, the Toxic is going to take him out as well. So Helios does in fact die to the Toxic right here, and it's now 1v2 the Hawlucha against my Electabuzz, and Electabuzz is just gonna come in, and it's pretty simple or self-explanatory what it's going to do. And I'm just gonna click T-Bolt, and I'm gonna win the game 2-0 against the Atlanta Hawlucha. So Fizz, it was a fantastic game, my friend. It was close. The Hawlucha really put a lot of pressure on me. Just you weren't able to get around the Choice Scarf Electabuzz. A fantastic trade on my part, in my opinion. I'm gonna toot my own horn there, trading this from the Simi Sage after Lars dropped it, and then also picking up the Sceptile for Magneton. So anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of the video, so I'd really appreciate it if you did leave a like if you enjoyed, or subscribe if you aren't subscribed already. I do other showdown content, etc., etc. And if you guys also want a t-shirt, the link is in the description below, as well as please go check out Fizz and the Teambuilder if you haven't already. So guys, I am SceptileMC, George, the coach of your San Francisco Arcaniners, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.